morning, everybody. How we doing? I see Dave Bowen has joined us. Sup, Dave? Good to see you this morning. All right.
Hey, just real quick, let me say, I love the videos of Kermit the Wonder Dog doing zoomies.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Dave, absolutely. Keep up the Kermit the Wonder Dog. That's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, contribute to joy on the internet. Lord knows there's not enough.
In fact, I would actually go so far, Dave, as to say you should just go ahead and host a YouTube channel with those instead of just putting them on Facebook. I mean, go for it. And I'm available for a consult if you would like to talk about that. I'd be more than happy to talk you through how to do that. I'm not making a sales pitch either. That one's on me, brother. We're already friends on Facebook. Reach out to me on Facebook. We'll set something up, and I'll walk you through it and answer questions if you have any. So, I've got Danny and Krista in there now. Good morning, ladies. Love to see you. Krista, a little later today.
It's nice.
Hey, and Steve says, "Happy Not My President's Day." Indeed, Happy Not My President's Day. Maybe we could do a special Happy Not My President's Day clusterfuck this evening.
Now, boys. Now. This was the most free and fair and honest and secure election of all. Just the president of America. He is the president of the universe. He is the president of the space-time continuum.
He might have to argue that point with the wheelchair guy that invented space. But anyway, I was going to say, Krista, since you're watching, hey, good morning, Rod. And I'm done being distracted by the comments for a minute. Krista, since you're watching, today I'm going to have to walk away from, we shot a wedding on Saturday, and once I get all that, I've got all the footage off the SD cards. Once I get it all into Premiere and start the proxy process, I'm going to have to walk away from the machine for like 3 or 4 hours probably. So I'm going to take a look at your light today. If you got time, give me a call later this afternoon, and I'll let you know how that looks, if I can fix it or not. Rod's with us, Steve's with us, Krista, Dave, and Danny. Hell yes, we've got ourselves a show. Now we've got ourselves a show. So the title of the show this morning is "We'll Cancel You Back," and good God, am I glad to see it. You know what? I probably need to even go into the tags and add Ted Cruz to it. I have recently voiced my displeasure with Ted Cruz, but Ted's pointed something out. Little criticism of the Trump administration that I agree with wholeheartedly, and that is that we had control of the government for a couple of years there, and Republicans failed to do anything significant or, frankly, at all about big tech censorship. Now,
I still think
go ahead.
That's valid criticism, but I still lay all that at the feet of Paul Ryan. I mean, you have to have Congress in our system of government to enact, big, large changes or policies or whatever. The founders set it up that way. So yeah, could Trump have done more? Probably, almost certainly. But really, the reason why everything went to shit, I still lay at Paul Ryan's feet for not doing a damn thing. Like, how hard would it have been to have repealed Obamacare? The Freedom Caucus put forth a compromise bill that did not completely repeal Obamacare, but basically got rid of it. And Paul Ryan wouldn't even bring it to the floor. So,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what else the Republicans could have done while they had control?
Anything?
Anything the fuck at all. See, Donald Trump was a great president. Maybe the best president we've had. Right? Very effective president. And he was saddled with a weak, spineless, inactive Republican Party at the helm of the rest of the government. Unacceptable. That's honestly, for the rest of this year and probably for the rest of the Biden administration, obviously we're going to level a lot of criticism at this insane and dangerous Democrat-controlled government. But a lot of the criticism you're going to hear from me is going to be that there are no Republicans who deserve to hold the seats they hold currently, except for maybe, and I stress this, maybe DeSantis in Florida. Ted Cruz may be crawling his way back into the graces of my respect, but he's got a long way to go after the way he threw the protesters under the bus for the D.C. situation. But Ted Cruz calling him out and at least having the awareness, the cultural awareness, I guess, to make to at least comment on the failure of the party to address cancel culture and big tech censorship is a start. So I basically hold the Trump administration as having had two major blunders as an administration. That first was the bump stock ban, and I think that you can kind of chalk that up to Trump at that time because that was pretty early. I think you basically chalk that up to Trump being naive and believing that it's possible to compromise with Democrats. All the talk about compromise and unity, bullshit. There's no such thing as compromise with a Democrat. Okay?
Well,
it's not an option.
Their definition of compromise is backwards. And you'll hear them say it. You can find news clips of it and everything where they'll say, well, this is a good compromise because everybody's unhappy. And every time I hear that, I'm like, you and I have completely different definitions of the word compromise.
Correct. They don't understand the word compromise to be what we understand the word to be. The word that the idea that they understand to have communicated when they use the word compromise, the word that they think they used is capitulate. So they expect you to capitulate.
Well, Marxists lie about language. It's kind of rule one. I mean, go read your Saul Alinsky. You win and lose by words.
Yep.
It is what it is.
So we're talking about cancel culture a little bit this morning, and there's some backlash going on, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So most of you, hell, everybody watching right now should know that Gina Carano got fired from The Mandalorian last week.
Wait, the same Gina Carano who's so fine I'd make her wiggle like a wet noodle and throw her into the wall till something stuck? That one?
Yeah, that's the one. That's
okay.
That's the one.
All right.
In fact, yes. I would juggle Gina against her will to see how that turned out.
Okay.
God, I was going through some old newspaper clippings where I have appeared in the newspapers rather more frequently than a person like me should. And there's this one where, for some reason, there was a reporter on one of the bases while we were doing mixed martial arts training. We're doing some Gracie Jiu-Jitsu training. And, I mean, it's the Army. Right? We don't do weight classes because if you're going to be a soldier, you've got to be a soldier. And that meant that drill sergeants love to pair me up with tiny females to make the point, listen, you have got to be good at this hand-to-hand combat stuff. And they would explain to these tiny females, size doesn't matter if your technique is good. Let me tell you something, ladies. That's a lie. Size doesn't matter if your aim is good, so carry a pistol. But please believe, if we're going to the ground grappling, the 300 plus pounds of me will laugh at your every attempt to resist gravity on the way down. Guaranteed. And some asshole photographer managed to snap a picture of me having been assigned to do a combative sparring match with this chick who was, God, she was 5 feet tall at best, probably weighed $110. And in the picture, she's on her back with one foot in my stomach, and I've got her by the lapel of her uniform with a knife hand back. And I mean, the picture looks like I'm about to just drive a knife hand through her face. It's terrible, and it's hilarious. But okay, I lost my train of thought with that wonderful story that. Okay, so Gina Carano, mixed martial arts fighter. That's how I stumbled down that road. Something about juggling female mixed martial artists. Juggling is a dangerous sport. And so Gina Carano got canceled, but she's already signed she's already in the talks. I don't know exactly how far the talks have gone, but it sounds like a pretty done deal. Gina Carano is going to produce and star in a film by way of the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro, right? Apparently Disney fired her and Ben Shapiro said, "That's my girl." And I freaking love it. And we'll circle back to that in a minute. You know what? I need to just go ahead and get us a clip of the Circle Back Girl and use it for things like this. We'll circle back to that in a minute. Yeah. Oh no, her name is Circle Back Girl. Make no mistake, her name is Circle Back Girl. In very much the same way I'd like to find a way to legally eject states from the Union, like California. I think we should find a way to legally change people's names against their will. Don't talk to me about labels, fool. Anyway, so the other one, Tom MacDonald, I want to talk about a little bit. He put out 2 songs in the last couple of weeks, one entitled Fake Woke and one entitled Canceled. The song Canceled, the refrain goes, "Y'all can't cancel me." And his point, he's an independent artist. He's not signed to a record label. He writes his rap songs, and his girlfriend shoots the footage and cuts the videos. And then he's got one other guy that does his master mixes. So he's basically his show is basically a 3-man team. And he's like, the song Fake Woke, for example, was released a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and he's got 7 million views on this one video. Now, in fairness, like 5 or 6 of them are me, because I was looking for the couple of pieces that I wanted to share with you. And here's why Tom's interesting right now. Spotify has banned the song Fake Woke. Well, the song Fake Woke is a criticism of rap culture, pop culture, cancel culture. And for example, I'm gonna play the beginning of it real quick.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's bad.
Right. You can't hear it, can you, Cameron?
No, but that's fine.
Okay, well, the big thrust at the beginning of it is basically it's bullshit that Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. Right. Tom MacDonald's controversial. You gotta hate the white boy for saying it's not okay to hate you. But, well, your tweens, they need to listen to some Wet and Gushy. And
and let's not forget that Cardi B has admitted to drugging marks and stealing their money.
Yes.
That is sexual assault and theft.
And prostitution.
Well, that's how she got him in the door. I thought that was okay.
Yeah, exactly. She allowed herself to be solicited for prostitution, used that as the entry point to introduce drugs into the situation, drugged the mark, and once he's unconscious, robs him blind. And if her music wasn't horrific, that would be sufficient. And so her song that blew up recently, WAP, for wet ass P word, as the Shapiro say. If you've heard the song, and I've heard clips of the song because I watched some of the analyses of the song from like Ben Shapiro and I think Glenn Beck did one. A couple of conservative talking heads talked about it, and so you get hit with it. And then we shot a wedding this weekend where they played the song. And at the wedding this weekend when they played the song, they played the radio edit. And in the radio edit, they replace wet ass P word with wet and gushy. And it's so much worse. It's so very much worse.
Yeah, I get you to pay my rent if by wet and gushy. What? Wait a minute. Whoa. Just no. But that's your role model. Like.
Yeah, and as a role model, her message is, you should use your vagina as a weapon to force a man to subsidize your activities and provide for you a lifestyle for which you are not willing to earn. Basically, go get your welfare check and a sugar daddy. That's the message from WAP. Tom MacDonald has just had a song removed from Spotify because he had the unmitigated temerity to suggest that, hey, maybe prostitution is not the lifestyle you should choose, 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, just a thought. Maybe finish school, marry a nice man. Try that route. In fact, there's a whole lot of dudes that are totally okay with your primary job being female. They'll go and they'll work their ass off for you. But let's be honest about that transaction instead of just saying, no, go ahead and be a hoe.
Now, I keep saying 12-year-old girl because Tom said 12. My eldest of 3 daughters who will never be allowed to listen to this kind of music without having a complicated conversation about messaging and why it's important to understand the things that are the shit that's being pumped into your brain by monsters who are bent only on stealing your money and ruining your life. Well, my eldest of 3 daughters is 10. But Tom said 12, and we'll just use that for our medium today. It absolutely galls me that the culture accepts that. They don't just accept it, guys. They celebrate it.
You know, and the thing that really bothers me, obviously we've talked about it before, how mine and your tastes with regard to hip hop differ. I tend to enjoy it a lot more than you do. So I say this as like a hip-hop fan. Cardi B's music just isn't that good. It's not clever. There's no wordplay. There's nothing original happening in the wet and gushy is like literally basic rap track, super offensive lyrics, #1 hit. And it just, God, that bothers me. At least when you got a 3-chord pop song about how much you miss somebody and you love them, like a 3-chord rock and roll sounds good.
Hey, wait a minute, just a second, Cameron. We've got a comment that I need to address. It's vitally important that I address this comment now. That Polak Zaluska asks, "You boys' feet hurt too?" Son,
no, mine are already better.
We were on them for 12 hours and they fed us a quarter of a fucking dinner roll. My feet are angry.
Oh.
Mr. Johnson's head in my book bag. Yes. And Cameron, your point is well taken. I'm not a rap fan. I'm not. But I got Mr. Johnson's head in my motherfucking book bag. I did enjoy. I was deeply entertained in my youth by the Insane Clown Posse. But let me tell you something, guys. Let's be very clear. If you're going to listen to something like ICP, you need to understand it as sarcastic or as comedy, because if you take it as, and it's possible, that these people are actually monsters and they were being literal, not trying to be funny. But I have my doubts about that because they've got this one song that's freaking hilarious. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's a song about a stalker, and the refrain goes, "You're walking down the street and I'm hiding in the bushes. You're sitting on your couch and I'm underneath your cushions." And I laugh my ass off every time I heard it. It's their music is, I think it's intentionally bad to be fun. They're clowns.
Yeah, they're called Insane Clown Posse.
They're literally clowns. So I enjoyed the hell out of some Insane Clown Posse, and so let me get back to let's get back to Tom MacDonald real quick. Cameron, I'm gonna try to switch on the screen share so you can hear it this time. And boom. So many damn buttons.
Backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murderers.
Wrong one.
This is true though. Eminem used to tell gay jokes all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna play this clip. Bear with me.
All our childhood heroes got me too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. Play so.
How's that grab you, Cameron?
Well, that's how you pull people into servitude and get them to stay. There's that old clip from an old movie from like when Wallace Shawnee was young, and what's funny is even then he still looked old. But they discuss the phenomena of New York City being a prison, but because everybody's so proud to live in the prison, they don't realize that they're prisoners. And that's where we're at. Everything with the cancel culture, like, oh, it's virtuous to be woke. And you're glued to the screen that gives you the Twitter and the Facebook. And if you say the right things, all the right people love you and adore you. But if you dare say the wrong thing, like Gina Carano did, they'll fire you. And I mean, dude, just for, big nerds like you and I, getting fired from Star Wars would hurt. Like that would wound my pride, even if it was from the shitburgers at Disney. But
honestly,
the irony is,
I think we're at a point now that getting fired over some wokeness should be taken as a badge of honor.
Yes.
I wish I could get fired for being not woke, but well, I can't fire me because I don't really work for me. Like I am so dedicated to working for nobody that I don't even work for myself.
Fair enough. The real irony is I've seen several leftists on the social medias and the YouTubes and the internets and all of that say things like, "Oh, well, if you're going to cancel Disney Plus, isn't that part of cancel culture?" And no, it's not. Yes, well, here's the difference. If I choose to cancel Disney Plus, I choose to cancel Disney Plus. I'm not saying everybody at Disney Plus should not have a job. If the net result of thousands of individual choices puts Disney Plus out of business, that's the net result. The difference is they told Gina Carano, no, you're not allowed to be on this show anymore because you have the wrong thing. Well, the cancel culture is not a small slice. It is literally, we're going to freeze you out of public life.
Yes.
As for example,
there's an important huge difference here between the two phenomena. What you're talking about with cancel culture is an individual has been selected for targeting, selected for destruction, right? An individual person has been selected by a few individual people And then those few people who selected that target for destruction wield the influence, wield the persuasive authority to inform a mass movement to engage in cooperative, coordinated destruction of that person. It's basically murder short of death, right? You know,
they take away your ability to provide a living. I mean,
right? Because right. You're not just getting fired from Disney. You're getting blackballed from Hollywood.
Yeah. Sorry. Hope you don't have bills, Gina. Or rather, they don't really care. And that's the hell of it. And if you need proof, when was the last time you saw anything from Donald Trump that wasn't filtered through the corporate media, the cartel media rather, or any of the social media platforms? Twitter's already said that even if Trump runs for president in 2024, they will still keep his Twitter account locked out.
Right. So I need to say one more thing, and then I want to address this comment from Rod. I'm going to give Rod a little pushback. He said cancel culture is civil rights violation. I'm going to push back on that a little bit. First, let me say this. So cancel culture, canceling someone, that's targeting an individual. When you talk about people choosing to boycott Disney Plus or any other provider that engages in cancel culture, that's me, an individual, choosing not to pay for my own destruction. Because if I choose not to give my money to Disney Plus because they canceled Gina Carano, or to Netflix because of Cuties, or because of what's that one? That show where all the cartoon characters are actually just stacks of dicks drawn together, Big Mouth. If I choose not to give my money to those people because they seek to destroy me, let me be clear. It's not that they dislike us for disagreeing with them. These are people who currently, actively, politically support actual white genocide that is occurring. And I'm not talking about they will not replace us torch-wielding pitchfork Charleston mob. I'm talking about South Africa. Actual white genocide is in progress. And the left, your Ilhan Omars, your AOCs, they don't deny that it exists. They support the activity.
You white men need to sit down and shut up.
They are pro. Right? So there's a big difference there.
It's that simple. They hate us.
Yes, they hate you. They really hate me. So let me get back to Rod's comment there. He says cancel culture is civil rights violation. I'm going to push back on that a little bit. So your First Amendment, free speech, et cetera, yes, that's First Amendment protected right. Your rights do not come from government. Your rights are born. You are born with those rights. They are inherent to you and unalienable. That said, for a person to violate your civil rights is not exactly how it works. What the correct way to understand what cancel culture is, Rod, is not that the people who are doing the canceling are engaging in a violation of your civil rights. While that's true, it's much more important to understand that the fact that cancel culture has persisted is a failure of the government to do one of the only legitimate things that it should be allowed to do, which is to protect the civil rights of the individual. There are very, very few things that the government should do. And the government right now, the federal government especially, does a whole lot of things that it absolutely not only shouldn't do morally, but is explicitly forbidden the authority to do by the Constitution. The 10th Amendment is not unclear. All powers not explicitly enumerated belong instead to the states and to the people. If the people of a state have not ratified a law or a constitution to the state to cede unenumerated powers, then the state does not have those powers. That is how the government of the United States works. So,
well, the other reason they canceled Tom MacDonald in particular pulled that song off Spotify is because he's got the lyric in there about if bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat's not life on this planet. I mean,
yeah, a bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth. That's from a different song. That song did not get canceled. That's a song called "People So Stupid," which, I mean, Tom, you're killing me. I actually like Tom's music, but as clever as he is with his lyrics, sometimes his grammar hurts me.
No, I'm not saying that song in particular got canceled. It's the fact that he's willing to say things like that.
Show me on the doll where you suffered the grammatical abrasion. It was here. It was right here. But yeah, Tom MacDonald, he claims to not align with a political ideology or party, which is fair. But he has made several anti-abortion statements in the lyrics in his songs. Okay, we are at the half-hour mark, so let me wrap this around now to us and why I'm really excited to see this stuff happening. Not excited to see Gina. Well, no, I honestly, I'm kind of thrilled that Gina Carano got canceled. I'm kind of thrilled that Tom MacDonald got canceled because now Tom MacDonald's doing interviews on Fox News and The Blaze, and he did a long interview with Glenn Beck. And Gina Carano is signing a deal with the Daily Wire to produce a film through the Daily Wire. Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's project, they're getting into producing entertainment. And the Daily Wire is now what I kind of always wanted the Brushfire Mind to be. And they built their audience more effectively than I did. I'm studying them to learn more, because one of the places I want to get to is to where we're producing more and more entertainment content. I've actually got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I've talked a little bit about my conversations with Just for Fun Radio and Scotty DJ Spence, but there's quite a few other things kind of going on behind the scenes right now that are moving us in that direction. And hopefully BFM will be full-time producing entertainment content by the beginning of next year. And so that's why I'm excited about all this stuff happening. Is I think that what's about to occur through this is Ben Shapiro is about to basically create a conservative replacement for Hollywood. Now, as far as that goes, like the Just for Fun thing, we're going to be making entertainment content. It's not necessarily going to be political messaging content. Because, truth be told, I would be happy with movies coming out of Hollywood that just had no political messaging. Right? Give me the prince saves the princess from the dragon because that's what he needs to do, right?
Hell, at this point, I'd be okay with political messaging. Could you just make a good damn movie? Could you stop with the Black Panther bullshit? That could have been a fascinating movie, but instead, it was in such a rush to celebrate all this artificial stuff about black culture Nobody sat down and read the script and was like, do you guys understand that this actually doesn't make a damn bit of sense?
Right. It was like, we were watching a show with Vera the other day, and it's Fate, the Winx saga. So, my 10-year-old daughter, it's a television series that's based on a book and a cartoon the book and the cartoon were both targeted at a much younger audience. They're basically for like 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old girls. And the cartoon's very cutesy. My girls both both of my older girls who have formed opinions about entertainment media enjoyed the cartoon before. And Vera wanted to watch the TV series, but it's rated TVMA, and it's like high school age. We're talking 16, 17-year-old kids are the main characters at this boarding school for fairies in the other world. And of course we've got to have the gay character, and we've got to have the gender ambiguous character, and there's a scene where one of the characters, somebody calls somebody a pussy, hey, you'd do X, Y, and Z if you weren't a pussy, and the response is, oh wow, well, I don't even have time to address all the gender problems with that statement. It's not just that I don't have the patience or the interest in your political messaging here. And it's not just that people don't talk like that. Let me help you understand the point. The point to a scene like that is not to address the gender concern that the left wants to put forward. No. The point to a scene like that is to model to young children that this is how people talk to each other in normal life. They want children to believe that the way you interact with one another is that at every moment that somebody mentions a thing, you need to interrupt whatever's happening and have a political conversation right there. So this isn't the thing that we're seeing with all this is not just the enemy left attempting to murder your culture and you directly. It's not just that. It's not just the enemy left attempting to poison your children's minds so that they can't have an intelligent thought. It's about training them to constantly interject pattern interrupts so that they can never have a productive or valuable conversation, because every time somebody starts to talk about any given little thing, they have to interject and, hey, do you want popcorn or do you want M&Ms to watch the movie with? Oh, well, you're asking me like, I appreciate that you think it's important that women should have a choice. What? Shut up! Do you want popcorn or M&Ms, bitch? Make a choice. I don't need to have a conversation about your political views on a completely unrelated topic. And that's the thing that's happening with that kind of stuff. It's not just them poisoning the minds to think incorrectly. They're programming the understanding of basic social interaction. Jesus, Cameron. They're trying to reprogram your children's understanding of basic social interactions so that conversational pattern interrupts prevent them from ever having an intelligent conversation at all. This shit matters more than you can possibly imagine, and is high on the list of reasons that my babies are being homeschooled. Maybe Scott Adams said it best. The teachers' unions are your enemy. Fuck them. And I'm going to leave it on that. You got anything to add there, Cameroon?
No, I don't think I can come back over the top of that.
Yeah, it's probably best not to try. So you guys be safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you.